Morning, everyone. Or at least it's morning for me. So, week two is a week that's given you some time to look at the question of research ethics. Virtually all of you are going to have to fill out the Royal Roads Research Ethics Board's forms, and in some universities they have a tremendously bad press. They take weeks or months to be reviewed. Royal Roads has a fabulous ethics review program. We review ethics forms in days or maybe a week or two because we want you to move along. The people who were involved in managing the ethics reviews led by Colleen Hoppins, whom you met last year, Colleen is one of the great people on the planet. So you shouldn't be worried about doing them, but you do need to do them. And I do want you to have the experience of having done them collectively in this case prior to going into your thesis work, so that when you get to the thesis work, you'll see it's a pretty straightforward process. It has to be done, but it's not an insurmountable issue. The question of research ethics themselves is a fascinating historical study. I've put a bit of stuff in the course notes. Of course, it all really became very visible and public now, 50 years or so ago, with the research of Dr. Stanley Milgram at Yale University. Milgram very famously got just essentially people off the street in New Haven, Connecticut, into the lab, and with a little bit of effort, not much, got regular people to essentially electrocute a stranger as part of a scientific research study. Milgram's work on obedience was shocking and revealing at the same time. He did that work in the context of Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi bureaucrat, being brought from Buenos Aires to Israel, and Eichmann's defense at his world famous trial was a defense of just he just never hurt anybody. He was just doing what he was told to do. So Milgram put people in a context where they were being told what to do and just watched when they would refuse. And a great percentage of them never refused. But it seemed so traumatizing, although the research subsequently was that the people who were involved in the research were not traumatized by it, that it really jacked up the questions about the ethical treatment of research subjects. And that's the basis in some true ways to the forms that you're going to have to fill out now. So this week, I'd like you to take each team to take one of the three papers that you read last week, Laura Eisted's paper and the other one, the mixed methods paper, and imagining you were the authors of those papers, put together the research ethics documentation that might allow you to get your research approved. Now, if you don't know the answers to some of the questions, you're completely free to make them up. I just want to see that you've gone through the process of thinking out how you would do the research ethics. The other thing for this week is more of a solitary activity, but the Tri-Council, which is the Canadian the three councils, the Social Sciences, Humanities Research Council, the Natural Science and Engineering Research Council, and the Canadian Institute for Health Research, CIHR. The Tri-Council has an ethics review process that you have to follow, we have to follow at Royal Roads, and there's a tutorial that you have to complete before you can begin your research, and you have to complete it before you complete this course successfully. So spend some time this week and through the course, if you can't get it all done this week, to go through the research ethics form. You're obligated to do this, and you will want to do this because you will likely be using human subjects. Final thing for me this week is that next week you're going to have a chance to start thinking about your thesis, and I'd like to schedule times to meet with each team, say from Wednesday on to Friday next week, to spend at least an hour, if not more, with each team, with you thinking about your projects, where we can just talk around what you're thinking about and your methods for answering your research questions. So that's for next week. I'll send out an email and we'll try to schedule some times that will work for you after you've had a couple of days at least to formally think about your project. Okay, so I hope things are going well. elsewhere in your world, and we'll talk further online. Okay, bye.